When you come to the back counter to print, you are carrying your printing plate, your cushion that you've stitched, and that white piece of paper that you're going to print an extra copy on. And on that white piece of paper, you need to make sure you have your name. So for this video, I'm kind of crunched for space on what you're going to see, but there are spots on this back counter where you are going to have a messy area. So my printing plate goes down there, and then the brayer with the ink color you want is in this messy area. The other things that you're going to print on are going to stay to the side in that clean area. So I am making a nice thin layer of ink all over this printing block. If you get some in between those shapes, that's okay, but you want to try to keep the ink just on those spots that are raised up, those shapes that you cut out. Once I have a thin layer all over every shape, I'm ready to do my first print. So my first print I'm going to have on my testing paper. So for your project, I would pick this up, scoot it over to a clean area. But for the video, I got to keep it in the spot so you can see it. And that's just so you don't get ink around the edges. I'm going to lay this clean paper over my stamp, and I can see through it a little bit, and I'm going to push with my hands. There are also clean brayers that you can roll to see your print. So I'm doing it on this piece of paper first to see how it turns out. I'm going to pick it up, and I can see my first print. Looks awesome. That's going to go in the drying rack. Every time I print, I have to put more ink on. I have to stick with that same color. Now I'm ready to try printing on my bag. Before I put my bag on top of this, I'm going to stick the needle inside the opening that I left so that that yarn doesn't get dirty. I have a lot of yarn left. Alright, now I'm ready to lay it on. So I would put this in the clean area away from all my messy ink. But I'm going to lay this on here. And I'm going to just lightly push it down. And then I would definitely use this brayer that's clean to roll your print on. I'm pushing pretty hard today through all these layers of paper bag. Now I'm ready to pull my print up. There it is. So we're doing this not just once, but twice. So I am going to put ink on for a third time. The only difference with this last print we have to think about is when I put the empty side down and I lay it down, I don't want to smear all over this because it's still a little bit wet. There are going to be some extra papers at the back counter. Those extra papers are to put on top of your cushion. I'm not going to scoot it around, but that will help me roll my last print and not smear the one I just did so nice. There it is. Pull that print up, and I've got two nice prints going in the drying rack for our last day on this project. The last step to finish this project is to stuff our cushion with the plastic bags. So you will each get at least one big plastic bag to put in that opening. And then depending on what's left, you might have tiny scraps that another class has cut up. Or you might actually get two bags. So once that's stuffed, then you can finish that whip stitch. So I'm going to make it all the way around my cushion. When you are finished going all the way around the cushion with the whip stitch, I'm going to go in the hole I started with, pulling it through like another whip stitch. And then I am going to tie these two ends together like I would tie my shoes. So once, twice to double knot it. Then I am going to cut that extra yarn off, leaving a tiny little tail, and your project is complete.